Hello everyone, I'm Shankha Subra Sanyal and I welcome you all on behalf of S-Cube's classes. Well, I'm really thankful to all of you for your overwhelming response. The amount of love that you have shown through your mails, through your feedbacks, I'm really grateful. I'm really privileged.
Vaccination, derivation of term vaccination. 3 centuries ago, an English physician, Edward Jenner, 1749 to 1823, realized that milkmaids who had cowpox did not catch smallpox, even during epidemics, as they had become resistant to the smallpox virus. This was because the smallpox virus is closely related to the cowpox virus. Cow is vacca in Latin, and a cowpox is vaccinia. From these roots, the word vaccination came into usage. How are vaccines made? A vaccine is an antigen that is injected or swallowed. It causes the development of active immunity in the patient. Small quantities of antigen introduced into the person's body stimulate the production of antibodies as if the body was infected by the disease. This type of immunity is long-term since the body develops memory cells in the natural pathway. Antigens are treated before being introduced to the body of the person in order to make them relatively harmless. Most vaccines are made in one of the following ways. Killed virulent organisms. For example, vaccine for whooping cough bacteria. In this case, the bacteria is killed by heat or use of chemicals, which denature its enzymes, so the dead pathogen will not cause the disease, but it will possess antigenic sites on its surface that will be recognized by T and B lymphocytes and result in the production of antibodies in the recipient. But there is no chance of the pathogen replicating and causing infection. Live non-virulent strains, for example, rubella. Vaccines made in this way are often called attenuated, weaken vaccines. In such vaccines, the pathogen is deliberately weakened to ensure that it does not cause severe infection. Other examples are BCG vaccine used against tuberculosis and the Sabin vaccine used against poliomyelitis, which is taken orally. Modified toxins, for example, vaccines used against diphtheria and tetanus. In this type of vaccine, the toxoids, toxic substances produced by the bacteria, are made harmless. Toxoids are used to stimulate antibody production, but there is no risk of infection by the pathogen. Isolated antigen, for example, influenza. Sometimes, important antigens are separated from the microorganism, in this case by breaking up the pathogen's structure and obtaining glycoproteins. The flu vaccine contains a mixture of antigens from various strains of influenza virus in an attempt to combat the great variations that exist. This antigenic variation occurs in microorganisms that have a high mutation rate. Genetically engineered antigens. For example, hepatitis B. In this most modern type of vaccine, restriction endonuclease enzymes are used to extract from the pathogen the genes that code for a particular antigen. Such genes are inserted in a harmless plasmid vector using a ligase enzyme. The bacterial cells then replicate to produce large amounts of antigen.
So this brings us to the end of the lecture. Well, before I sign off, as I always do, I would request you, in case you have any queries, please do feel free to write to me at scubesclasses@gmail.com, or you can WhatsApp me on the numbers given on your screen. It would be a privilege on my part to be addressing your queries. Thank you so much.